This is Meri at TheMeriAtelier, and it is Saturday evening, and this is an impromptu live stream. I just have so much to catch up on, and I thought I might as well go live. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to work in my Inktober, but I want to show you a few things. This was paper that I received several months ago from Aaron at the Arondax, and yeah, I'm using it up. I'm going to make a journal. I have folded it all. I punched it all. It's ready to bind. I have several journals that I want to bind. I'm going to do it Coptic style, and I will bind it after I get all of these signatures bound between these two fly pages. I'm going to put some of this type of paper that I have left, this stenciled paper, on these covers to coordinate with it. And then after these are all bound, they are going to be attached to this spine, and that spine will be attached down into my book. So that's an in-process video, journal. It'll just give me something to work on. I have several journals that will be blank journals, and yeah, I'm going to get them all made. But tonight I want to work on my Inktober. And lucky me, my brother had a VA doctor appointment yesterday, and we stopped off at a newer Goodwill, and I did okay. But my real find was this ream and several other packets of paper. And I think there are 500 sheets in here, and I do think this is parchment paper. So this will be very nice to practice I am using the dip pen. I'm playing with the dip pen. Now, I only have day one done, which is why I want to work tonight. I only have day one, and today's the 4th, so I have 3 days that I want to do. And I'm going to mark off some lines here, and then I am going to just write some quotes, play with my dip pen. This is more play for me. I will probably tear these pages out of this composition book. I just grabbed it on the fly, and I will probably bind all of this into a journal at one point or another. I will probably cut this in half because I like my journals to be half. So I'm going to take a couple pages here. That will give me 4. And I've done 1 page, so I don't think my ink will go through. I'll be very interested to see if my ink goes through this. So I'm going to set this off my desk, and I need to see if anybody's come in here. This is impromptu live stream, so I'm really not expecting anyone in here. Let's see. But if you do happen to pop in, hello, let's see. Oh, I got 7 watching. Woo!
What you're planning for.
Oh, I gotta turn the sound down. Hold on.
Where money means more.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard, but Ike sounds perfect for busy kids like us.
Hold
I
on.
use it at school.
Got an ad, and I need to turn the sound.
I use it at school.
Got an ad, and I need to turn the sound. There we go. So, and I need to turn the fan toward me. Hello to folks who popped in. Who's here? Patty Crane? Sylvia? Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia, see, I got some parchment paper that I'm going to practice on. Sylvia gave me a lot of instructions. She must be a dip pen pro. So I'm going to go through those a little at a time. Tonight I'm just going to practice, Sylvia. One thing she told me was this composition paper is too absorbent, although I don't think my pen did too bad on here. I'm not disappointed in this. I wanted to get out my calligraphy book, but my days have just been packed full. So welcome in, Sylvia. And the other thing she told me was to hold my pen more vertically, rather than I tended to, hold it like this, like you're writing. But I think she said I should hold it more vertically. So I'm going to practice those two things, more not as absorbent of a paper, and holding my pen in a more vertical manner, so that the ink on the glass pens, the nibs have kind of like a little spiral, and when you dip them into the ink, that ink fills up on those spirals, and then when you write, and if you hold it more vertical, like what Sylvia's telling me to, the ink will flow down better. Sylvia said she's glad to be here. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Val. Welcome in, ladies. And then I got an ad. So welcome in. Who am I missing? Sylvia, Steph, Val, Goldie, Steph. So, but there's what? 8 of you out there. So if you're in the balcony listening, that's quite all right. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, but I do need to get caught up. So you can call this the quiet side of Saturday night. I know I think there's a video hop going on all weekend. So I'm not a part of that, and that's where all the action is. But that's okay. I used to live in Wisconsin, and up in Door County, they have a quiet side of the county and a loud side of the county. And Lake Michigan is off over here, and all the touristy area and all the hustle and bustle. And I think Lake Michigan kind of goes up here too. All the hustle and bustle is on this side. But if you drive over on this side, more toward the mainland, it's quiet. It's really pretty. There are a lot of mosquitoes, but Door County is really pretty. But they call this side of Door County the quiet side of the county. So my channel tonight is the quiet side of Saturday night. I wouldn't say I'm exactly quiet, but I thought I would explain that. All right. So what I'm going to do, this paper is 11 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Maybe I'll just kind of crease it here first, and make sure it's 5.5. This is just practice for me, and I have all this wonderful, I'm pretty sure it's a parchment paper. All right, let's put it at 5.5, and yeah, it's 5.5. And if you're in here listening, I am tomorrow night. I stream tomorrow night at 6 p.m. At 8 p.m., I'm going to have a giveaway. You're more than welcome to pop in for the giveaway, but say hello. I purchased a stack of 30 calendars of these Victorian calendars, and she gifted me some other smaller ones, and I got 6 of these. I'm keeping 3 for myself, and I'm going to gift 3 of them. I'm going to have a little giveaway. And what's so nice about this is they have really beautiful graphics, but what's nice about it is these are not date specific. It gives the month, and then it gives the number of days in a month. So you could use this for any year. And I was talking with the lady who sold these calendars to me. I have, let me grab one. I have 30 of them. 30 of them. And I paid total a pretty good price for them. But she told me to look them up on Etsy. This is the 1992. I think this is the earliest one that I have. So 1992, 2002, 2012, 2022, there's 30 years right there. So I think this goes to about 2022, and you can still get the 23, 24, and 25. But if you look these up on the internet, they're going for all the way from all the way from $7 to $24, depending on the calendar. And probably the medium price is probably around $12 or $13. I did not pay that much for these. So I got quite a bargain. And I was talking with the lady that sold them to me. And I said, right now I'm keeping them for looking, I said, because they've got beautiful, beautiful graphics in them. And they're still making these calendars. I might get the years that I'm missing, 2023, 24, and 25. And they got beautiful graphics. And I was saying, right now I'm just going to keep them to look at. I'm not going to try to alter them or disassemble them or anything like that. And she said, well, you can still use them as calendars. And I looked up, and I think it's 1990, I want to say 96 or 97. I'd have to look it up. That relates to 2026. It's one of the 1990s. It's up around 96, 97, or 98. So this just say this is 1992. This would probably relate to maybe 2019 or something like that. So 2026, now I'm really curious myself because I made a note of it. Where's my phone? Hold on. What did I do with my phone? Here it is. I made a note. Let me bop into, I made a note. 1998 matches the year 2026. So if I find my 1998 in that stack of calendars, I can still use it for 2026, and the days and the months will be the same. Like January of 1998 will match January of 2026. And I do have, I bought it at the thrift store for $1. It was a Lang calendar holder. And I think the Lang calendars are about this size. I don't even know if the Lang calendars are still being published. But, so that's probably what I'll use it for. And then, like, I think my nephew's birthday is on the 3rd. So I could put a little note here, and it would apply, no matter what year, 1998 or 2026, he's still born on the 3rd. And, the days, I don't know if the holidays are still the same. You would think they would be. New Year's Day is still the same. Martin Luther King Day falls on the 15th here. I don't know what it fell in 2026, if it'll be on the 15th. But this was, I've got 30 of these. Well, I'm not sure if she counted these as part of the 30, but more than 25. And I'm going, I won't have to buy calendars for the rest of my life. So that was fun. So if you're around tomorrow evening around 8 o'clock, up around that time, sometimes I forget, but I'll try to put it in the title, giveaway. And again, these are not date specific because they just have the month and the number of days in the month. It doesn't have the year or the name of the day. So I think these would be a nice giveaway. I'm keeping 3 and I'm giving away 3. 8 o'clock Central Time. So there you go. So let's see who popped in here. Woo, you guys are chatting. Karen K. Hi, Karen. Hi, Kathy Cowell. It's good to see you. You're watching from the balcony. And there's Angie Brown and Brenda Ashford. Welcome in, ladies. Welcome in. I just have to get caught up with things. I want to keep my Inktober, of course, you know. I did day 1, and then October 2nd, I'm not sure what I did on that day, but then the 3rd was we were gone all day, and today I just got to get caught up. It's already the 4th. Angie says she made it home. Good for you, Angie. Angie, did Jacqueline not stream last night? I looked for a stream. Hi, Rhonda lady. It's good to see you. I usually see you in the morning. Welcome in. Is Rhonda redoing a house or remodeling some of her house? Not Rhonda, Jacqueline? Jacqueline's on a 2-week break. Did that start? Thank you, Goldie. Did that start this week? Will she be on a break next week too? Or was that, she took 2 weeks off from YouTube. So this week and next week, am I understanding that correctly? Or was it last week and this week? Mary gets confused. Let's see, who else am I missing? Kathy and Stephanie and Angie and Rhonda and Brenda. Welcome in. I didn't think anybody would be popping in here. Stephanie says I should put my laundry away too, Sylvia. I have caught up with the laundry pretty well. I did a whole stack of kitchen towels and kitchen, you know, the little cloths that we use at the sink to wipe the counters off. But I change those every day. I change them every day. So I got all that done. But I have bath towels to do because, you know, we both showered yesterday. So I always wash the bath towels, and my brother's bedding is ready to be changed. And, you know, it's just that stuff that needs to be done. Let's see, what else is going on here? Stephanie Vale says, good to know that. Thanks, Sylvia. Sylvia said, fun. Just have fun. I love pushing around ink just as much as pushing around watercolors. And we're going to have to do a watercolor with you, Sylvia. Have you? Because I think I'm probably better at watercolor than I am the dip pen. Let's see, I think I folded this one. I'm going to cut these at 5.5. All right. I want to get started. I want 5.5. I'm going to do some quotes from Tale of Two Cities, just off of Wiki. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. You know, I never read that book all the way through. I think I should get caught up on my classical, my literature. There's just so much to do in life, isn't it? Isn't there? All right. Now, I do think, since these are this way, I think I'll write on them horizontal, not like this. So let's get my trimmer out of the way. And today's the 4th. I'm going to try to do 2 through 5. And that would mean that, well, I don't know. We'll see how the ink goes on the back. Now, I did buy some ink, and this is a gold calligraphy. I'm not sure how that will work. It is calligraphy ink. It says calligraphy there. So I'm not sure about that. I did buy some blue, but I couldn't put my hands on it. And I got some white. So this really isn't what I want to use tonight. I'm going to use out of this. This is a kit of dip pens that I got several months ago. And I just haven't I haven't used them. And it's AXEARTE. It's either Chinese or Japanese. I can't read Oriental print. But they have 2 dip pens, and I did order some more dip pens, but I don't think I need them really, because for me, I'm not going to be using a lot of different colors, and the points are all the same size. Now, Dar was in here when I first did this, and she dropped a link to Janet Young has a playlist, and I think Dee Dee does a lot of, well, Dee Dee is a calligrapher, period, and Janet Young, she's just good. So, let's see. I think that's a purple. That's, this is kind of a grayish color. That's a blue-green. I think, I don't see anything that marks the colors on these. So you just kind of have to guess. And I don't mind guessing. That is a real light lemon color. This looks brown. I don't know. I had this out the other day. I think this is the black. Oh, you know, and I was going to bring out that little sticky mat. I didn't bring it out, and I don't want to run and get it. So I'm just going to have to be real careful again tonight. Maybe if I take a paper towel and put under it, it'll be less apt to... I'm so clumsy. I am so clumsy. But it might be less apt to slide around if I have it. And then when I start writing here, I will put it, I will zoom in. And I have my quote ready to go here. Not there. Here. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, and it was the age of foolishness. Doesn't that sound like 2025? Doesn't that sound like 2025? I should put 2025. It never changes, does it? It was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief, and it was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light, and it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. So he's contrasting opposites there. So, and I'm just, let's see, I think I will, before I get started though, is mark off some lines. Just so, and I'm going to use my pencil here. And let's see. I think I'll mark it at a half an inch and an inch like that. So if I hold this, it won't be perfect, but it'll almost be perfect. So I'm just gonna go down the and I don't know, I might want to do every fourth, because I could make this a capital. Yeah, I think I'll go every fourth and leave maybe a half inch between them. I don't know. I would have to look up the measurements of calligraphy, but this is just me playing. And I'm going to practice. I want to do that quote, but I should practice my ABCs too, huh? But I would really rather have something to look at. So I might just play again tonight and do them. Well, I don't know. That sure isn't straight. That sure isn't straight. Let's see, I'm trying to look too far up the world here. I don't want to bore you guys, but I really truthfully didn't think anybody would come in to the quiet side of Saturday night. the quiet side of a Saturday night. Oops. Well, this is kind of hard to do. Maybe I'll mark it and then go back in and draw my lines, because I can't see where I'm going here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think I'll leave a fourth, a half, or a fourth. Maybe a... Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do this a line at a time, because I want to get started. I don't want to fool around with drawing lines. There, that looks better. I'm deciding if I want to leave a fourth in here and then start the next one at a half, which would be, or do I want to leave a half? Maybe I'll just leave a half. Or maybe I won't. Yeah. Get this straight. I'll just do a couple here. Now see this? This needs to come onto that and onto that. And right here, right here. It's not straight. I need to do this offline. I need to do it offline. I'll just do a couple lines here, up above and down below here. It won't be perfect. I know you can buy practice paper, but I'm not into doing that. All right, enough of that. That's 2 lines. Now I'm going to zoom in. Let's look down at chat here. Steph said, that's a good price. I've been eyeing different sets a while, and that one comes up with the inks. Jinx dropped the link. Thank you, Rhonda. Yeah. I forget, I got this a couple years ago. I'm going to read chat on my phone. I get these. Do you guys get these? Warning, your PDF version has expired. And I blocked this. The fastest PDF editor. They're trying to sell you a new editor. And I go in here. I hit it. And I block it. Stop seeing this ad. And then you continue. And it says ad blocked. You shouldn't see this ad again from Google. But you do see it again. And then they say why you're seeing it. And it'll pop up again. And there's one with the photos too. And I've hit, the help desk on here on, well, don't get me started on that. Let's see. Let me go into chat. Go into my channel here. And into my stream. I'm didn't do a thumbnail. And it's got an ad, a word game. Skip that. There we go. I want to go look at that link that Rhonda dropped. See what I paid for this. I bought mine, it has to be a year or so ago, and my redirect doesn't work either. That bothers me. I have to hit the go to go there. Do, 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 do. Purchased one time. Yeah, this is the set that I got. $20. That's really not a bad price. And, you know, the inks, you've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 14 inks. 4, 8, 12, 14 inks. And you get 2 glass pens. You get a little glass cup for your water, and then you get a little glass pen holder. That I didn't get out the glass cup, and because I use the water out in this. It's a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's not a bad. Delivered to Meridel, Harvard. It's in stock. Let's get back out of that. Okay, let's see what else is going. That's a good price. Meri, you never bore us. We all love you, so of course. Aw, if we can. Lori Beth said she had to wake up at 6 a.m., so she went to bed already. Well, good for her. I tell you, if she can sleep, she could go to it, because I've been having a terrible time sleeping lately. You know, sometimes I just sit there and think, man, if I could just close my eyes and turn off my mind. And, you know, sometimes I'll just go, you know, I just hum, just so that my mind will not focus on what's going on in my life, you know. Or I'll sing, I'll hum a song or sing, but then my mind wanders and I'm wide awake again. Rhonda says, I went to a hockey game with my sister tonight. We left early to beat the traffic. Our team was down by 2, and they ended up winning in overtime. Yay! How cool. Just my luck. Second time, I left early and they won. Oh, Rhonda, you'll just have to go again. I know, Steph, I had to laugh. Meri, I just got one of those good for you, don't hit the link. Oh, you got one for me? I've got one. I'm using one. What did you do, Rhonda? I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys. Oh. Are you sure you shouldn't cancel it? Because I have a set. I have a set right here. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. And you know how, Rhonda, I told you, oh, this was a couple months ago too, I could not find that Herbal shampoo on Amazon. And it was several weeks, but I found it again. And so I ordered my Herbal. Rhonda put me on to this, what brand is it? It's Herbal shampoo. And boy, I'll tell you, it really makes my hair nice and soft. I really like that shampoo, Rhonda. And also, Rhonda, she led me to a little 6-inch chainsaw. And of course, we can't cut the bigger trees down with that. And we had some volunteer trees. That little chainsaw could not cut through those. Those were really hard wood. And my brother said, you're just holding it wrong. You're holding it wrong. And he went out there and he said, those trees are really hard wood. So when we had a tree trimmer come and trim, I made him cut down that one tree outside the living room window. Because those big, if that tree fell, it would fall right on his roof and it'd fall right in the living room, right where my recliner is. And when he first came, the tree trimmer, I went out there and I asked him if he was going to cut down that tree, and he said, your brother said not to. He said just cut the top branches or the loose branches. So I went over and talked to my brother, and he said, oh, it's not going to fall. It's not going to fall. And I'm going, I think you should cut down that tree. And I gave him a little bit of a hard time, and he just adamant that tree was not going to fall. And so finally I just came in the house and I'm going, well, I tried my best. If, you know, I told him if that tree falls, you're going to have a house repair. And it wasn't long after I shut up and came in there and sat in the living room for a while. He came in there and finally he went out and told the guy to cut down the tree. I go, and then after it was all said and done, and my brother's hard of hearing, so he doesn't hear everything that when he talks to people, like when he talked to this guy and they priced it and everything. And so I did not hear my brother tell him, but I believe him because my brother said it's not going to fall, it's not going to fall. And so the tree trimmer was a little upset because he gave an estimate that didn't include cutting down that tree. And I just told him, I said, whatever extra charge there is, we'll pay it. And I told my brother, I said I would pay it. And it wasn't really that much more. My brother's hard of hearing, and I told that tree trimmer that. I said he pretends to hear when he doesn't wear his hearing aid. And when you're talking to him, you can say something and he'll look at you and he'll nod his head and he kind of pretends to hear. And I've gotten so I said, did you understand what I said? And I think that's kind of what happened with that tree trimmer. And I went out there and I said, he's hard of hearing. So the tree trimmer started talking to me. I got off on my little vent there. Let's see what else is going on here. I have a large tree, Goldie says, looming over my trailer house too, and then one over the chickens too. They cut the worst one down a couple years ago, and hopefully we can get the other two before they fall. Yeah, well, that tree trimmer, after he cut it down, I could see sap coming out of just shoulder length. I could see sap coming out of the base of the tree. And I asked the tree trimmer about it. I said, that looks like that tree is, because it was not just a little sap. It was like 3 feet of sap, and, you know, it was all on one side of the trunk. And I'm going, that tree looks like it's in distress. And he said, oh, just keep an eye on it. But I was adamant that they cut it down. And then after that tree trimmer cut it down, he told me, he said, once he got up to the top, it looked worse than what he thought. So I'm really glad they cut it down. I would just rather have a tree trunk out there than a roof that's caved in. Angie says, I keep getting this sponsor thing pop up on my phone. Well, this video is not sponsored. You're probably getting an advertisement. I've got to get in there and look at my settings and turn off the ads in the live streams. Yeah, it does that for me too. It does that for me too. The ad, especially on your phones, it'll take up half your screen. It just covers the chat right up. So I'll try to get in there and look at those settings. I've just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Hi, Joyce. Welcome in. Oh yeah, I use it to cut down the smaller volunteer trees, because we have a maple tree and it has those helicopters that blow off in the spring, and they root all over the place. You know, and once those roots from those maple trees grab down in there, you have to tug and tug and tug to pull. You almost have to dig them out. And the tree trimmer did that. We had some trees growing out in the peony bush out there, and boy, I'll tell you that those were really hard wood, and the tree trimmer cut those down. And my brother didn't want to you can buy things to kill the stumps of the trees after you cut them down. And my brother didn't, well, I don't know after you cut them down, because my brother said you do it before. I don't understand whether you do it before or after, but the tree trimmer cut them down, and he said he killed killed those roots out there without harming the peony. So we'll see. Yep, I like that little chainsaw. My brother, he's real protective of it, Rhonda. That little 6-inch chainsaw. Sometimes when I'm cutting, right there at the handle where that chain goes around in here, well, sometimes when you're trying to cut, like I used it to cut down the peonies, well, there's a kind of a vine that grows around in there, and it will get caught in that between that chain and the handle. And no matter how careful I am, I would get it caught in there. And then when I'm done, I put it in the back porch, and my brother takes it all apart and cusses me out because I have vine caught in the blades there. And then he makes me oil that every time I use it. He said, "Did you oil the chain?" So he's real protective of that little 6-inch chainsaw. Yeah, I got it. Oh, you're talking about the spam? I'm not sure. Stephanie said, "It's not fair, Meri. Lori Beth can go to sleep whenever she wants." I know, Steph. I know. My brother, I swear he can sleep 10 hours a day. And I'm awake 14 hours a day. Even sometimes I'm awake 20 hours. I only get 4 hours of sleep and I'm still going. Rhonda said, "I can't sleep either, Meri. I just end up getting up." I think that's the best thing to do. Just get up. Here's where Joyce popped in. Stephanie said, "I got an ink set on clearance once. It was the P.A. Martin ones. They're nice." Yes, those P.A. Martin ones. I think I had a set of those and I left them up in Wisconsin. They're a little bit expensive, but if you look around, you sometimes get a good deal, a good sale. Steph says, "Lousy ads." I'm not getting any ads right now. Rhonda says, "I went to a hockey game. We read that. Meri, you never bore us." I'm not so sure about that. There's the link to the dip pen set. You can make a swatch page. You want me to make a swatch page? But I'd have to open all these little bottles of ink. And I won't do it tonight because I will do it in but I want to get that little sticky mat out. If I have too many bottles of open ink or I have to sit here and open and close, I'm sure to spill something. So these have little plug-ins. I appreciate it because that helps probably from evaporating, but they're hard to get out. And of course, look at my fingers. I used hot water and lava soap I suppose I could use I have to be careful because my hands are shaky and shake that bottle and spill it. Let's see if I can do this. There. You got to kind of pull and turn on it, but it's a little plug-in. And it's black. I think this ink is blue. And I'm going to put this plug-in inside the cap so I don't lose it. And yep, my hands are dirty now. I use hot water and lava soap, and that seemed to clean it even better than my hand sanitizer. After I used this the other day. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat here. Angie says, "Brenda, I've been getting those too." Yeah, the ads, they cover up chat. I know, Brenda. You can still hear and see Meri when they pop up. Yeah, I think you can turn off the ads in your live chat. I haven't, they don't have that option on mobile, but I think you go out to your channel settings and do it. I'm hoping you don't have to do it every time. I haven't investigated it. Stephanie says her tablet gets those big ads. Yeah. Well, I don't mind in other people's streams, but when I'm trying to read my chat, I mind. Brenda says, Rhonda, Jinx, Rhonda is Jinx. I've got my eyes on an 18-volt Roby, R-Y-O-B-I, Roby mini saw. I have 2 drills, a skill saw, a saber saw, sanders, and lights, and 5 or 6 batteries. All right. So I think I'm going to go from chat here. I still have the chat up on my notepad, which is a lot slower. I'm going to go over here to the quote. Did I get out of it? Did I get out of it? No, it's here. Is that it? That's the redirect. Oh, you know, I think that... Oh, let me go. Let me jump back in. All right. And not looking at any... I think I'm going to write it all in lowercase. I have to... Well, I guess I could do an I here. No, I think I'm going to do it all in lowercase. So you're supposed to dip your pen in the ink and then brush it off a little on the edge of the bottle to get rid of any bubbles or drips. And then Sylvia says you're supposed to, I was holding my pen this way. She said you need to hold it more vertically. So that's really uncomfortable for me, but I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try. Oh, I need to zoom in, you guys. Let me zoom in. All right. I might have to dip my pen again. Whoops. I should get that little holder out. Let me zoom in so you can. And you guys, I'm not a calligrapher. I'm just playing. Don't take this as a Meri tutorial, because it's not. Sylvia will give you more good advice than I would. And Dee Dee, and probably Janet Young, and probably several of you out there. But I'm going to do it all in lowercase because I'm more comfortable in lowercase. I try to be too fancy with the uppercase. Now, can you guys see? You can kind of see. All right. So I'm gonna, whoops. See, I already wanted to. Oops. See, I want to slant that pen. My eye looks like an R, but that's okay. I think maybe if I put my hand under it, give my hand, I'll be able to hold it. And then you're supposed to twirl it, but I've set that down. I feel like I'm drawing my letters rather than writing them. Oh, that's an awful looking S. It was the And I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It was the best. Now, you don't always have to write. You could draw with your pen. Maybe I'll do a little of that too. See if I can twirl this. See how the ink is, I don't know if you can tell, but I can see how the ink is dripping down, sliding down those grooves. I think I'm going to have to dip it. I feel one of my jobs right out of, I went to the university for, gosh, almost 5.5 years. And then I went to a business school. And after that, I got a couple of small-time summer jobs, but I worked also at a printing company and a marketing company. And the marketing company, now this was way back in the late 80s, early 90s, so you think we didn't have all the computer stuff that we have today back then. But I worked on a HP plotter, and you'd have these, I worked for a marketing company, and then the sales reps and the whatever, the representatives, when they went to go for a meeting, they would have all these charts, and they would be plotted out on a plotter, and the plotter, you'd have these little pins, and you'd fill them with ink, and the little, almost like you would think of a die cutter, only it wrote, and it would go and it would draw the graphs, comparing one product to another, and it would do bar charts and circle charts and all of that. I really enjoyed that. I only worked for them part-time, and then I went out to Colorado, and I got a job out in Colorado working for a company that did microfiche, and they would research engineering information, and you have to think, there was personal computers then were just starting to come out, and I worked in using a computer language that did typography, and I learned all about font sizes and types and all the different computerized publishing applications. Really interesting. And then you'd set all that up, and then you'd print off, you'd send a file off to this big machine in the back. It wasn't a computer, but it wasn't a typesetter where they sit it was a computerized typesetter. And you programmed it to make all those pages, and the pages would print out, and then they'd send it off to print. And the same way with microfiche. Only on paper, they would put them on microfiche. Really interesting. Those were the days. Now it's, God knows what they're doing. They're not putting them on microfiche or paper anymore. They're putting them out on the internet in databases and all of that. So, all right, I think I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to look for Charles Dickens. I'm going to open a new tab here, and let's go look at Charles Dickens. Let's see if I can just play with my pen, even though it's might get a little dry there while I'm searching. I don't know. I want to open a new tab. I'm going to leave this one open, and I'm going to go Wiki Charles Dickens, because he wrote Tale of Two Cities. Charles Dickens. Oh, now I got an ad covering up the half of my chat screen over on my tablet. I spelled Dickens wrong. E-N-S. And I like Wikipedia because I know this is all public domain. Oh, and I've sketched him before. Let's bring him down in my, it's all in the public. If you go to details here, he's all in the public domain. Common, what do they call that? CC, original file, licensing, public domain in the United States. So I'm going to bring him down, save him in my library, and there he is. And I'm going to do a little sketch of him with my ink pen. And I probably could draw him. Yeah, let's see if I can't get that ink wet again. I could probably do better with drawing than, although I'm not the best at, oh, I've got to get it going here. There we go. Get it flowing. So I'm starting with his head over on this side. And I'm just going to do just a little sketchy sketch here. Well, I think I'm going to have to slant this to sketch, because it's not flowing down. Maybe because there, maybe. Hold it a little more vertically now. I had to get it started. No, I think when I'm sketching, I'm going to have to I'm drawing his hair. This is all dark hair here above his ear. And then his head comes up this way, sort of like that. His eyebrow comes right in here. We'll just kind of do a sketchy sketch eyebrow, kind of dark. And another one over here. And then he's got this forehead, and he's got this wild hair coming out. And it's dark in there. And then he's got some hair up on the top of his head. I have to say, I'm not sure I like the glass pen for sketching. But, you know, I'm just playing. Maybe I'm not doing it right either. Wild hair over here. Let's turn it over and see what the back looks like. Yeah, see, this is nice paper. So I think I can do both sides of this paper. All right, his ear, and I'm going to hold it. I think the ink flows better when I'm drawing if I hold it at a slant. I could be wrong, but it seems to. His ear comes down that way. And his nose here is above his ear. So I have to, if my ear is there, his nose has to start right about in here. He's got a pretty big nostril on that side, and then he's got kind of a, and this is all sketchy, big old heavy eyebrows. And then, let's go back to his ear here. Kind of put it in. His eye is in here. And he's got that eyelid, and I keep forgetting to put in the eyelids on my sketches. But that eye kind of comes out that way and over this way. And then he's kind of looking this way. So that eyeball is right in here, right in here, right in there. And it kind of comes down, and you don't see too much shadow in there. And then his other eye, really I think I have that eye too big, but I'm not going to fool with it. His other eye comes right about, and it's not that big, but you see this shadow in, oh wait, shadow, this eyebrow has to be bushier, and his eyeball comes right in, and it's a little bit more round than the other one. Oh, Charles Dickens. And then he's got these bags under his eye. And he's got you can kind of see his nose coming down like that, sort of. And you can see a big old bag under this eye. And this eye is not that big. Okay, then he's got that baggy eye. And I think I should probably, because I'm not getting much flow, I'm going to dip my pen in some water, and because I've set it down and I think the ink has kind of dried out a little. Let me put a teeny bit of water in here. So I'm just playing with this. I could use another pen to draw with. Probably have better luck with drawing with a different pen. But I want to play with the dip pens. And you know me, I've got to draw. Well, I don't know if you know me or not, but if you want to know, I have to draw. Whoops. I'm going to kind of... Actually, I'd like to take some of that water and that is in the container there and use it as shadow. This is where I would probably get out the paintbrush. And I found, let me move this. The last time when I was working on this the other day, let me move this so I don't, if I take my pen, if I was going to change colors, I'd take my squirt gun and that seems to clean it pretty good, just squirting the water on there. Now I'm going to use all the same color, but I wanted to clean my pen, and let's get rid of this. Any wet spots there. I need to clean this whole glass thing with some alcohol. I was doing gluing on this. Okay. All right. Do you even look like Charles Dickens? Well, whoops. Let's move that water out of the way. All right. And he's got some shadow going on underneath of his ear. It looks like hair right in there. And then his face really comes down under his neckline there, and then he's got a beard, a mustache. It's kind of white, but it's dark up in here, and kind of comes down like that. And he's got a really kind of a long face, rectangular face. His face comes clear down, and his mustache kind of comes down like that. And you hardly see his lip. His lip is kind of hidden in there. And he's got this bushy beard coming out over this way. And it's really dark on here, and then right in his chin area. Let's see, you see some of the hairs. And this mustache here. Oh, don't do that. And then his beard kind of is hairy in here. It's kind of thin hair. And it comes out this way, and then it gets darker as you come down. It's really looks like my brother's beard. I keep telling my brother, I'm not going to let him see Charles Dickens' beard because it's really stringy and wiry. But my brother, I said, if you would just, he went to a barber for several years, and that barber retired. But before he retired, he did my brother's hair, and I tell you, my brother looked good. And my brother said, I've been trying to grow this beard for 10 years. I'm not cutting it off now. And I can't get him to trim it. And he had a face mole that the VA took off of his hair. I mean, off of his face. And they trimmed. I don't know if he only let him trim one half, but when he come out of the dermatologist there, when it came out after it was all done, he only had half of a beard, my brother. And I laughed. I said, they didn't trim your whole beard, they only trimmed half of it. Oh, I'm going, what did you tell those doctors? Wouldn't you let them cut your whole beard? Oh. Yeah, he's just adamant he's not going to trim that beard. I think, let's see, I think that the picture ends right in here. And his coat, he's got a big, this is white, and his coat has a collar that kind of comes like this, and it has a trim, probably a velvety type trim on it that comes something like that. And I'm not sure what this is there. I'm just going to kind of, yeah, like that. Now, I don't think I captured him, but you know what? I really wasn't working on capturing him. It's just play. I want to get a feel what it's like to sketch with a dip pen. Now his face on this side is more in shadow than over here. So I'm just going to put some scratchy marks on it to kind of give it shadow, and he's got some shadow going on. And here again, this is the dip pen. And I should be trying to twirl it to get that ink, but I think it's flowing down pretty good. I'm probably ready to dip it again. And I think this eye is open too much. I think this eye is really open, but this eye should be closed a little bit more in here. And his forehead, all right, and let's play some more. Let's just do some, see if I can't, see, it doesn't seem to, it seems to work better if I hold it at a slant while I'm doing my scribbling. I don't think a dip pen is really a good thing to use for sketching, you probably want to use something different. And what I want to do is dip it in water and bring water over on it. That's what I want to do. Let's play with the water. Get some tonal values in there. It should hold the water just as well as it holds the ink. The ink might be a little thicker than water. And this is a water-soluble ink because I can wash it off of my hands. But it's not that soluble. But let's just see if I can't get some tonal values in here. So really got a bag under his eye, and this is all dark in here. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I'm calling this day 2. So the day 2, all I did was I drew some lines and I wrote that quote, and then I did this little sketch here, which is just a little, doesn't look much like him, but it was fun to do. It's interesting to see that the water, so the pen's almost clean from the water. I'm just trying to get some tonal values in here. And of course this, I should probably dip it in. I'm going to leave it. Maybe put a little bit more shadow over in here. Alright, and my pen is clean. I don't want to spill this water. My pen is pretty clean. It's not clean up toward the top. Now, what do I want to do? I think I want to do some more writing down here, but I'm not going to stop and draw my lines. I'll draw the lines on if I prepare the other days. But let's go back to, I'm going to come out and look at chat. Let's do that right now. Oops, got out of me. Got out of my chat. I got an ad. Steph said, yeah, it was hard on my stepdad. Let's see, what are we talking about? Half a beard, yeah. Let's see what's going on. Brenda says, Rhonda, I'm calling Jinx Rhonda. Rhonda, kitchen redo was supposed to happen last fall. I had back surgery, so I put off until spring. Then Bo had an accident, and it got put off again. It's happening after the wedding if I have to hire someone. Oh, I understand things getting put off. Steph says, congratulations on your daughter's wedding, Brenda. So congratulations to her, Brenda. Yeah, half of a beard. Yeah, I laughed and laughed. I couldn't help it. I think it kind of embarrassed him because he came out of the office there, and he walked into the waiting room in there, and I'm going, you only have half of a beard. I shaved half of his beard. And Stephanie said, yeah, it was hard on my dad. I don't know what's going on up above. Angie, that old book sounds neat. Brenda said, after the daughter's wedding on the 19th and book fair, the 20th and 24th, I'm starting my kitchen update. I got lost in Home Depot app. I can get the chainsaw for $60 cheaper from them than on Amazon. Oh, really? And then ended up looking at refrigerators. You went down a rabbit hole, Brenda. Meri, did you like Colorado? Where was your favorite place to live? Now you have to understand, I lived in Colorado in the 1980s. I think I moved out there in 1983. I moved out there for a job, and I was out there until about 1986 for about 3 years. I lived in Littleton. In fact, I lived maybe about a mile south of where that school shooting was. only the school shooting happened much later. But I drive by that school all the time. Yeah, I know where that happened. I didn't know any of the kids or anything, but like I said, I had moved out of Colorado by the time that happened. Did I like it there? Well, my mother's side of the family, all her sisters, my aunts and uncles lived out there. I liked it, but I have to tell you, there's really no place like home. I liked Wisconsin the best of all the places, even better than Nebraska. But I've adapted here, so you know I'm happy here. But my favorite place to live was probably Wisconsin. Um, I lived in the suburbs of Madison. I don't know if I would have been happy living in Madison proper, but I lived in. Well, when I first moved there, I lived in. The Door Creek Apartments, but I'm trying to think of the Cottage Grove. Between Madison and Cottage Grove, they had an apartment complex, and it was a nice area because it wasn't built up around there at the time I moved there. And then I worked for an insurance company when I first moved up there. Was in South Madison. And then I worked as a contract programmer. Well, my contract ended, and then I worked on the north part of Madison, which was really not Madison proper. It was Sun Prairie. So I moved from the Cottage Grove area up to the Sun Prairie area. And then I lived in a townhouse. I really liked the townhouse because it fit me. You know, I wasn't crunched. I had room for everything I wanted. I liked living in that townhouse. And I was only like about a mile from where I worked. So I was close to my workplace. And then I moved out on the west side of Madison because I was a programmer. And I moved out on the west side of Madison called Middleton. And that's where I lived until I come back to Nebraska. I like Nebraska. I mean, I've adapted Nebraska. I grew up in Nebraska. I'm not living in the same town or the same place where I grew up. So I really don't know many people in this town, but I know people around here. So that's to answer your question. Let's see what else is going on out there. Let me go back down to the bottom. Stephanie says, the youngest sister came home one day and she said she was pregnant. Wait, what are we talking about? Brenda says, my youngest son came over in August. Last time I seen him, he had hair to his waist and clean shaved. Now he has a beard to the waist and short hair. Oh, he's got, before he had long hair and he was clean shaven. His face was clean shaven. And now he's opposite. He has a beard to the waist and short hair. Yeah, that's kind of like my brother. Well, my brother's hair doesn't stick out as much here. My brother keeps it pretty short up here, but he's got this wiry beard like Charles Dickens. I'm not going to show him Charles Dickens because then he'll say, well, that's how my beard looks. I can wear my beard like that. Stephanie says, wow, Brenda. And then Brenda says, already dealing with 4 boys leaving home. It makes it easier for me. Brenda said she was in Colorado in Paonia. Where is that? In 1975? So, in 1975, I was still going to school in Lincoln. Stephanie says, the youngest sister came home one day and said she was pregnant with a guy we had never met and was going to live with him. He was abusive and they're divorced now. The family is still healing from. Yeah, my sister, she went through a lot of abusive times. My sister left home. I was in 6th grade when she left home. So I didn't know my sister very well. My sister was a very pretty lady. She was a very pretty girl. And she left home, and I saw her once when I was a freshman at the university. And that was the last time I saw her. But she connected with me when I lived in Madison in like 2016, 2017. She found my phone number and my address, and she called me. And we kind of reconnected, and I think she knew she was going to pass away. I think she knew it was coming. And we had a lot of serious talks. I don't know if she took to heart anything I told her, but I hope she did for her sake. But the Abrams family can be quite stubborn. But yeah, we kind of, but she told me some of the things she was married 3 times and divorced twice. And I don't know. I think sometimes the prettier girls, I was not that beautiful. You know, I'm okay with my looks, especially now that I'm older, maybe younger. I was a little bit more shy, but not shy, but unhappy with how I looked. But now now I'm okay with it. But I think the girls that are really pretty and popular, and the guys are, when I was a freshman at the university, I lived in the dorm, and my dorm mate was a beautiful girl. She had dark hair. She was beautiful. She was and she had guys chasing her all the time. And we had the intercoms in the dorm, like the guys would call, and so they'd call the desk down at the desk, and down on the first floor would call up and say, "Is Dixie there?" Her name was Dixie, and "Is Dixie there?" And Dixie would go, "Shh, no, shh," and then she'd say, "Meri, tell him I'm not here." I'd say, "She's not here." And they would give her stuff. They would give her stuff that she never asked for, and one guy was chasing her like crazy, and he gave her this beautiful, beautiful sweater, and she threw it out the window. She didn't want anything to do with it. I don't know whatever happened to that sweater, but it wasn't in our room anymore. She was really pretty, but my point is, I think the gals that are beautiful and popular, I think they have more trouble with men and guys chasing them, and I didn't have that problem. I didn't have that problem at all. I was kind of a quiet person too. All right, let's go down a little bit more. Steph said, "That's so sad, Meri. I'm sorry." Yeah, Stephanie, I watch you and Lori, and you're just so fortunate to have a sister like Lori. You're a sister at all, I mean, I've got my brother, but it's not like a sister. And sometimes I'll watch these YouTube channels where these ladies will get together and they'll go out antiquing and all that. Sometimes I wish I had that. I really don't. The one friend that I made here, her husband passed away, and she moved. She's still around Nebraska, but I don't see her anymore. She moved closer to, and I'm glad she did. She's older than me, and she deserves to be closer to her family. And she moved away, and I really don't have a skin and bones friend here anymore. And we got along pretty good. We both believe the same thing, have the same faith, and that helps a lot. But I'll listen to those YouTube channels where they'll get together and they'll go antiquing and go out to eat and all of that. I guess my life was meant to be solitary. As far, and sometimes I think, well, maybe it was. Maybe I'm not meant to have a lot of gal pals, so to speak. My brother doesn't like to. Becky is so fortunate too. Scott likes to go, and he'll find things for her. He knows what she likes, and And see, look, I got an ad there. Get out of it. Sometimes I can't get out of it that fast. I'm going, go away, ad, go away. But sometimes I wish my brother was more. But my brother doesn't like. He doesn't like walking. He doesn't like going shopping. He'll when I go into a store like Walmart, he'll grab his own cart and he'll go get what he wants, and then he'll go out in the car and smoke a cigarette. And I don't smoke, a car, but I can't change him. He's older than me. He said he's done it all his life, and I'm going, you're killing yourself. He smokes. Yeah, I do have you guys. You're right, Sylvia. You're right. And you guys, I'll say it again, you mean the world to me. I went through a rough time, was it last week or the week before? I don't even remember. But I posted a 24-hour post. I canceled my stream because I was feeling down. And you guys, you cheered me up. I don't think you realize how much your company means to me. And it's not just subbies on YouTube, it's friends. And when you have a smaller channel, I get to know you guys, and without getting too personal online, but I get to know you more. If I had 600 people coming in here, or even 150, I wouldn't get to know you guys like I do. Let's see, what else is going on here? My gramps used to grow a short beard sometimes, but mostly the guys are all clean shaven in my family. My dad was clean shaven. My dad made my dad had beautiful white hair. I get my white hair from my dad. He had beautiful white hair, but he made my mom shave it off all the time. He made my mom cut it, and because it felt more comfortable to him. He didn't like all that hair on his head. And he had blue eyes. My dad was a character. You guys would have loved my dad. My dad taught school in his younger days until he lost his hearing, and he wouldn't wear a hearing aid, just like my brother. My brother wears a hearing aid when he drives because he has to hear the traffic, and I can hardly get him to put a hearing aid on when he has to talk on the phone. And he relies on that captioning, and that captioning doesn't always work. And this is my brother I'm talking about. I tell him, I said, be sure and let those people know that you're reading that text on your phone, because they'll say something to him, and he's waiting for him to type it out, and there's a big gap of silence, and the person on the other end of the line doesn't know what's going on. And sometimes he remembers to do it, but most of the time he's sitting there trying to read the chat, and I'm going, they're waiting for an answer. But I try not to get too bossy about it, but he's a good brother. Let's see, Brenda said, I think my favorite place we lived was Moore Park, California. That said, I've lived 49 out of my 64 years in Tennessee. Well, Tennessee is a pretty state, isn't it? I think I was only in Nashville once. I went to a needlework show in Nashville. And of course, you just get to see a part of it. We drove down there. But Kentucky, I lived in Louisville. I always call it Louisville. I'm a northerner. But I would drive over into the Kentucky area, or the Tennessee, over the eastern part of Kentucky and up north to Ohio. I'd drive around out there. It's pretty country. But I have to tell you, some of those southern states have so many trees. I was telling my brother that. We were driving home yesterday. And the cornfields here are turning golden brown. And I remarked how we're going to see a lot of harvesters in this coming months. And I said, I don't care. I think Nebraska is so pretty because I can see out. You know, you get down to Georgia and some of these southern states, you drive for miles and all you can see is trees. I'm a prairie girl. I have to see out. I feel like I'm trying to park trees. I don't think I could have lived down south because of that. You guys are acclimated to it though. Let's see what's going on. Meri, you are my friend and my company. Hi, Crystal. Oh, it's so good to see you. Crystal, we have known each other for years, haven't we? Yeah. Crystal's former husband, he was a minister, wasn't he? Like Lisa Conway's husband was a minister, wasn't he? I'm trying to pull back into my memory here. But he passed away, and yeah. I knew you a couple years even before that happened. It's good to see you, Crystal. Stephanie says they cut the wheat field behind my house today. Yeah, you guys have wheat down that way, don't you? And Kansas has a lot of wheat. We don't have that much wheat up. We used to have a lot of wheat around this area, but the farmers here now grow corn and soybeans. And they used to grow a lot of Milo, but they don't grow as much Milo anymore. Milo for chicken feed, I guess. I don't know what they used it all for. But, and alfalfa, they used to grow a lot of alfalfa, and you don't see much of growing of alfalfa anymore. Corn and soybeans is what they grow in this area. This field was for hay, not for grain. I ought to get a pic to share. You know, Stephanie, when they cut those fields and we're out driving, maybe going to town or something, and I look out the fields, I go, man, all these fields look like they've been painted by yellow ochre. That's what I call them. Yellow ochre fields. They're all, well, they're not green anymore because the corn's turning, but in the summer, those fields are all green, and then they turn, you know, in the fall they all turn. And I said, it's just like there are fields of yellow ochre all around us. You know what? I want to do some more writing here. Let's go back to, I'm chatting and not, but it's good to chat with you guys. I want to go to, oh, I saved it. Let's go to my history and go back to Wiki. Is it this one? Yeah. Well, no, I want to go to, I want to go to, Tale of Two Cities. Well, I guess I could go to it from, let's go back one. I'm getting out of him. I'm done with him anyway. Let's go there, and let's go to here. I'm finding my way back to Tale of Two Cities here. Tale of Two Cities here. I want to go to that quote. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I'll do it from here. It was the age of wisdom, and it was the age of foolishness. That's what I want to write on here. So I'm going to try to write with no lines to guide me. I'll probably get off of the track here. Let's see. It was the age of wisdom. And let's see if I can't. I feel like I'm drawing my letters because I'm so used to now I've got my pen slanted. I'm trying to hold it upright, Sylvia. It was the, I'm going to start here, age That A is too small. Age. I'll get out those calligraphy books and do a little bit more research on calligraphy. I'm just kind of getting the feel of the pen. It was the age of wisdom. Yeah, not the greatest penmanship, but I'm just getting used to this. I'm making excuses. It was the age of wisdom. I'm going to dip it here. I probably don't need to, but it was the age of wisdom, comma, it was, whoops, the, oops, age. I think if I would relax a little bit more, I'm trying to be too perfect. Let's turn my pen. Whoops. Foolish. Oh, that L is too small. Foolish. Looks like a K. Ness. Ha ha! Not that great. And then I'm just going to put a Charles Dickens here. See, I want to move my fingers rather than my hands, and I know I should be moving my hands. And I'm going to put a Tale of Two Cities in small print. Tale of Two Cities. And I'm going to call this day 2. Let's see, hashtag. I got my pen slanted. Inktober 2025. October. I have to say the ink seems to flow better slanted. October 2. This is day 2. All right, let's turn it over. I'm not unhappy with it. You know, it's just me playing. And I think I'm going to work on this side too. Now, I think what I'm going to do on my, I'm going to open a new tab. And I'm going to search for calligraphy practice. And see if I can't find something online to learn modern calligraphy, the House of Evercrafter. This course will teach you. What is a calligraphy? Welcome to Calligrascape. Learn calligraphy. Let's see. Let's go to some of the images. See, I just want to get something to look at other than beautiful pictures. Something like this, brush strokes. But see, now they're using a felt pen that has, they're not using, I should say, dip pen. Let's get out of this and let's do another new tab and search for using a glass pen. That might do it. To use a glass pen for writing letters, first dip the pen into suitable ink without touching the bottom of the bottle. I've been doing that, and gently wipe off the excess. I kind of do that too, but I think my ink tends to dry out between while I'm talking and holding. It says hold the pen at a low angle here and write with flowing consistent pressure, as the glass pens are not pressure sensitive. When the ink runs out, you'll want a new color. Rinse the nib in water. I want some examples. They're giving me steps. Let's see if I get any images with this. See if I can get an alphabet. Images. Oh, here we go. Ooh, look at that one. Woo! I'm not free enough to do that. Let's go back to this one. And this is modern calligraphy writing. Let's go to this, visit this site. How to get started, free worksheet. It's got an ad here. I want to see free downloadable practice sheets. Is this in here? If you need basic calligraphy tools, do they give us the free worksheets here? Now this is, I really wanted the glass pen. I think this is more dip pen. But I just want an alphabet. I'm not seeing the alphabet here. Plus free worksheet. Did I miss it? Yeah, see, there's talking about calligraphy with a dip pen. And I'm getting the ads. Where's the picture of that? Here are some of my favorites from a range of modern nibs. She's talking about nibs. Come on, you got to have a picture of it in here. How to prepare the nibs. Paper. I'm not reading this. I'm going to the ink. Come on, when do you get to the alphabet? But Meri, you should be reading all this. Anatomy of type, the basic strokes. But see, this is more for a different type of dip pen, I think. Ascenders and descenders. I just want an example of some letters here. Here's the lowercase, uppercase. I'm going to save this one. And we're just going to play with these. I hope she doesn't mind. Free. They say they're free. I didn't download it. No, I did not download the PDF. I saved them in my gallery. Let's start with the lowercase. I wonder if I can flip that. Edit it. Angle it. Save it. And then I'm going to turn my... Don't want to spill my ink. Alright. So now I'm just going to... I think I'm pretty happy with my... I think I'm pretty happy with my, let me get rid of my chat box there. Get rid of it. And I'm doing it this way here. Yeah. She's gonna spill that ink yet. Alright. No, it's too big. Let me. Get out of this. That's the uppercase. It's a lowercase one. Yeah, I'm going to have trouble with that, seeing it. Here, I know what I need to do. Edit it. Get rid of that white space. And save that. That's a little better. All right. But see now, because they're using a dip pen and not a glass pen, and Sylvia sent me a video, and I did watch it, Sylvia, if you're listening. But when they do their A's with the bowed, they actually did it, and the letter like this. And then when they wanted the thick stroke, they went in and did another, and they made it. They actually draw their letters with, because the glass pen, you can't put the pressure, it's not flexible like a calligraphy pen would be. And I'm not seeing that B that well. I'm gonna put it the other way. Hold on. Let's put it back. There. And save that. And I'll just expand it. And then of course this came way up. They actually draw their letters, and I wiped off the B there. Let's just play with some of the other letters that I can see better. Let's do the M. So when you do that downstroke, you have to draw it in there. With the glass pen. And that's just something to learn. See, I'm drawing that bold in there. And you draw the bold over here. And I don't have lines to guide me, so. A-M. Let's try that S. My S's weren't that great. So the S started here, and it goes up. And it's really pretty. It loops around. Whoops. I'm going to have to do that again. And then it comes back this way. And this gets bold in here. Let's do it again, because that has more of a tail. So let's give it a tail. Come up more at a slant. Come curve around this way, and then it comes out this way. Of course it's too big, but then you have to go back in if you want a bold line in there and draw it in. And I suppose if you're a calligrapher, you don't mind doing this, and you go real slow. And you probably practice and practice and practice it. But the reason I think they like the dip pens, the glass pens, the reason that I understand is that it holds the ink longer than a regular dip pen. Let's try another one. I did the M. Let's do the T. This curving in here. Now I'm not going like over here on this side. When I'm out of frame, aren't I? See, I put those lines in there, and I think it helped guide me. Although I didn't have lines in there. But here I'm just kind of going willy-nilly across the page. What time is it? It's 10:52. It's almost 11. I'm only going to get days 2 and 3 done because I don't want to be all night here. Let's do the T. So it has an upstroke and a downstroke, and it gets really thick in here, and then it comes around like this. I almost feel like I'm drawing. I almost feel like I'm drawing rather than writing. And you probably are, because you're wanting to get that bold in there. And that's really not that great. See, that should come more like that. And it comes down this way. And then I think I have to do a lot of practice. And I think Sylvia's told me to practice my O's, my circles, and the circles and something else. Because the circles, like on the C and the E, you practice your circles. Let's see what the O looks like here. See, I'm trying to be too perfect. I should just play. I think sometimes if I play, I'm going to wash my, well, no, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think what I'm going to do is have one of these pages for a doodle page. Because, see, I want to move on and do something else down here, but my pen still has ink in it. So I'm just going to have a little doodle page here. To see, my ink is getting, and we'll just doodle a little, just to use up my ink. Practice some cross hatching, practice twirling my pen. And I like diagonals. I was watching Becky do her day 1. She did a pumpkin. She drew a pumpkin, and I can't draw them as pretty as she does. She drew a pumpkin here, and look, see, my pen is, the ink is getting used up. I'm gonna show you what Becky did. So I'm gonna dip my pen in there. She drew a pumpkin. However she drew it. And I think some pumpkins have that curly. See, now I'm back to drawing again. And this is a leaf. They have leaves. I'm back to wanting to draw. But anyway, she drew her pumpkin. See, I'm wanting to dip. And she gridded her paper. I'm going to put a little grid, because this is just my doodle page. And then she did some neurographic, and I'm not one to do neurographic, but she just did squiggle lines, like so, squiggle lines. And what I really liked, I'm going to dip my pen again. What I really like is where she came in and did these little, colored in the little, because that really, and then she went and colored her pumpkin. and my pen got this part in here, and I'm not good at neurographic art either. But every place where those lines meet, you do a little diamond or a shape in there. There's too many lines meeting. And I'm going to do some on the side just for... And then she colored in her pumpkin and she colored in those squares. She did a really nice job of it. I'm just playing. Oh, let's use up my ink here. And we'll color the stem in. And let's make the lines darker on the pumpkin so you can see that it's a pumpkin. And then I'm going to do some lines in here just because I'm not going to, she colored hers. I'm just going to put in some shading lines and maybe some shading lines over here. So I think I like drawing with them. Let's use up what ink is on here. So I'm just going to play. I actually like, I like diagonals, to tell you guys the truth. I like diagonals. I like to do diagonals. Like this, and then come this way. You'll see me in a lot of my art do diagonals. And then you can go in there. I'm just using up my ink. You can go, instead of shading the corners, you can shade the triangles. I told you I was just going to play. My Inktober is not doing anything one topic. It's just playing with the dip pen. And then what I like to do is come in with dots. And I'll do dots. And I think that makes it really fancy dancy. I'll do dots all over. And this is just a quickie sketchy thing. I like to do a lot of dots on my diagonals. And by the time you do a lot of those, you're getting a pretty fancy piece in here. And you have another fancy dancy on here. The more lines and dots you do, the prettier it gets. And look, I've done all of this. Well, I did dip it once, but I still have ink on there. I'm trying to use up my ink without dipping it in the water. However, I do like the idea of dipping it in the water and then shading with it as a drawing technique. And this is doing it better than what it did on my sketch. Let's see if I can get some of that ink to flow down, because there's still ink in there. There's still a lot of ink. You would think, yeah, I would almost tend to think that the water should flow the same way that the ink does, because it's liquid. I should be getting a lot of shading, but it is getting clean. All right, this is going to be my doodle page. And look, see this parchment paper? That never even came through. All right, that's a doodle page. That's going to be a scratch, like a wipe-off page. And I'm going to clean my brush again here. I like to squirt it because I feel like it gets it. Look at that. get it off of my paper. That cleans it pretty good. Alright, I'm going to throw that away. I want to get this out of my way. I'm going to, this is really this is October 2nd. This will be October 3rd, which is really just practicing some of the smaller case. But I'm going to put this way over here and hopefully I won't knock it off. Because I'm afraid I'll knock it. I'm going to draw with my ruler again. In here. Oh, I don't want to use that one. I got to clean that one. Let's use this one. And I should probably take this down so it's, but should and doing it is another story. Let's see. Let's put it, is that out of your vision? Frame of reference. Let's put it there and there. Okay, I'm going to mark here and mark here. And every fourth I'm going to mark. And it'll be a little inaccurate because, you know, it isn't going to completely measure up. Alright, then I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to do me some guidelines here. I'm going to try to be a little freer with my writing. I feel like I'm drawing rather than writing. And I think one thing is I'm trying to be so perfect. I'm trying to be perfect. I was watching Aljon, and she's doing a series on foam stamps, and she's using what she calls fun foam. And I like what she's doing. And then she said she usually buys her foam at, she didn't give a brand name. She said she usually buys it at the thrift store when she goes thrifting, and I'm wondering if she was showing the different thicknesses, that she didn't refer to a brand, probably because she bought it at the thrift store and the brand was not around anymore, the documentation. And I was wondering if I just buy some kids' foam, but then the thing of it is, I don't think you can hit that with the heat gun again, can you? The regular craft foam. I don't think that, I think you have to have a certain type of foam in order to heat it up again. Do you guys know about that? I've got some of those small foam blocks that were gifted to me that Simon Hurley sells. And I could use that. I wanted to play with that. I went out to Amazon and put some craft foam in my cart. I get so distracted with things. I watch somebody do something. Oh, and there's something else I want to do. I'm going to hurry and finish this. Maybe by hurrying I'll be more free. There's something I want to do before I go to bed. Because tomorrow's Sunday. I can sleep in tomorrow. Not, when I sleep in, I mean I don't get up at 3:45 or 3:30. All right. So I have some lines to kind of guide me so that my letters won't be the same. And let's bring my ink back. So far I haven't spilled. I need to bring that sticky mat in. All right. So let's play. I like the O. Let's play with the O. And I'm going to make the O the size of the 1/4 inch here and there, and so when I do the P, it'll come up above. All right, I'm going to try it here. So I'm going to dip my pen in the ink. I didn't touch the bottom. I'm going to kind of knock it off on the side a little. And we're going to do the O. And I'm going to start up here, and let's see if I just can't. I know Sylvia tells me to hold it more up and down, but I don't find it flowing as nice when I do that. And I don't doubt her knowledge. I just can't get it to work. Okay, now see, I drew that, and I drew it kind of weird. Let's do another O. Let's see if I can't just free myself up here rather than trying to be so perfect. Like that, and then come down maybe a little more like that. Let's try it again. This is one thing Sylvia told me to do. Practice your circles. And then come down and oh. Let's see if I can hold it a little bit more perpendicular now. Not quite so slanty. I think that kind of comes with practice, because I'm so used to writing, you know, and holding my pen like this when I write, that holding it up a little is a little awkward for me. And when you do Inktober, now this is starting to get dry. I'm going to dip it again. When you do, whoops, I really went down there. When you do Inktober, you don't have to do pretty pictures. I mean, you can. But if you want to learn, like what I want to learn about using the dip pen, maybe learn a little bit more about calligraphy, sketching with the glass pen. I'm going to use glass pens. I don't think I'm going to get out. I have a set of dip pens. I have a set of fountain pens. God knows what shape they're in. All right. I'm kind of happy with that for now. All right, I'm going to skip down here because I want to bring my P up to this line and have a gap in there. So I'm going to skip down here. I'm going to do an O. Like that. I'm going to, whoops, well, I'll make it thick. An O like that. Now I want to do the P's. And the P's come up. They come like this. They come up and then they come down. So they're really they take up a lot of space. Up and down. And I want them a little thicker. And then they didn't close their P off here. Look, it almost looks like an H. I think I would want mine closed off a little bit more. For me. You know, I would want it a little bit more like that. But they have a gap. I know that's P because it goes PQ. See, they closed off their Q. Let's do an OP. Let's do an OP. Oh. And And I'm going to close mine off a little bit more, I think. I don't like it. It looks like an H to me. An H with a big leg. I'm not sure that. And I'm used to my P's coming down and having a loop like that. I think I'm going to change this a little. This looks more like a P to me. All right, let's do it again. I'm going to change it here to suit me. O. And then I'm going to start here, go up. And then I'm going to curve it like this. And then I'm going to close it off like that. Oh. Oops, I'm going to shade that in. Oh. And I can see you sitting here and doing the entire alphabet. And but my ink is getting dry. So it's run out quite a bit. I'm going to dip it one more time. I'm going to redo this. Oh, this one's not going to be perfect. P. One more. Oh. N. P. And then, see, this is where I feel like I have to draw. Well, it comes down this way, though. And this way, and then up. Okay. That's all I'm going to do for day 3. So, hashtag, yeah. Hashtag Inktober. $20, $25, $10, $3, $20, $25. And I'm going to just say practicing lowercase. Practice. See how when I print here, I'm more free. And I think that's what gives your handwriting your personality. You're not worried about being perfect. Practice, lowercase, alphabet, PHABET, letters with glass dip pen. And you guys are probably tired and going to bed, I understand. If you need to leave. All right, that's my day 3. So I have day 4, which is today, and day 5. I'll probably do it tomorrow. But let's bring out my doodle sheet and see. Let's just see if I can do some doodles on here. Use up my ink. Use up my ink. Let's just do some checks. Let's do some circles. Can you imagine? I just think of those people who did, of course, I suppose they spent a lot of time, like what I'm doing here with my alphabet, learning how to write beautiful. Those certificates and calligraphers. I'm trying to use up. It's running down, the ink. I'm gonna dip it in water now, but let's go ahead and let's put the plug back in my ink before I spill it. And get it out on here. I gotta remember to bring that little sticky mat in. Now I can breathe easy. I'll put that back in the box, but let's wash out my, this is my doodle sheet. Let's wash out my, oh, there we go. We're not wasting ink. Oh, I want to do that on Charles. See how much I have left in here. I want to do it on his jacket. Don't want to waste the ink. I'm not getting much. Oh, I'm getting a little in there. And his beard. All right, I'll stop. Let's put that over there. I'll dump that in the water. Let's wash out my pan. Sylvia, thank you. I just saw that. Are you still with us? Thank you so much, Sylvia. That's so sweet. I don't deserve you guys. I do not deserve you. Hi, Linda. Let me finish up here and cleaning my pen, and then I'll come out and look at chat. I have one thing I want to do yet tonight. It's a little after 11 here. I want to do something else tonight, and I'll show you in a minute here. I guess that's pretty clean. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it with my, well, let's put this away. Make sure that that cap is closed good. Put my ink back in there, and where'd my pen roll off to? The pen goes there. And I'll probably play with day 4 and 5 tomorrow. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this, though. I tend to spend too much time. Interesting to sketch with the glass pen. All right, now I want to put this, and I'm just going to call this a doodle sheet. And I have a couple more sheets here someplace because I cut 2. But what I'm going to do is I'll probably tear these out, and I'll probably stitch all this stuff together in the end, or put it in another journal. Who knows where this will all end up. Here's my other sheets. I'm going to put them on the bottom. But I do like, look, I wet that there. Use that wet ink. It did not soak through. I got a bargain when I got this paper. 500 sheets of parchment paper for under $5 because I got file folders and another folder, expanding folder, and filler paper. Got all sorts of stuff. I want to come out and chat, and then I want to do one more thing tonight. I won't spend a lot of time doing this. I lost my chat. Filter all messages. Hi, Linda. Tim and I made 2 chows for Beth's trade. 2 chows? Chows, C-H-O-W-S, for Beth's trade. Stephanie says, "Lo, crazy autoconnect. I got my Twinkies done too. They were fun to make." Beth is having a Twinkie swap? Oh, Twinchies, not two shows. It does it to me too. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Tim and I made Twinchies for Beth's trade. They are so cute, Jen. I need to post them on Facebook and I keep forgetting. Oh, there's Kitty Jen. Hi, Kitty Jen. Welcome in. Puppies, I'll bet, are really cute. Yeah, the little Dachshund puppies. What are their names again, Stephanie? I know it if you typed it. I go, oh, yeah. Sorry to hear about Goldie, Steph. Yeah. I'm glad you have the puppies. I'm working on packing my gel print trades for Cindy's trade this month. Sylvia says, please, I want to do more. I appreciate Miss Meri. I appreciate, and you know, Sylvia, you know, we did those steampunk dolls. I want to, they're out in the other room. I don't want to run get them. I want to take one of those steampunks and make a postcard, one of your steampunk teapot ladies. And I printed them off. I made prints of all the ones that I saved in my library. I made sticker prints. I want to send you a postcard. But I left it out in the other room. The next time I stream, I'll try to remember to bring them in here. And I'm kind of disappointed with YouTube. You know how we were playing with doing those steampunk dolls, and we get all that action and that, you know, it was AI. It's what it was, Dream Screen AI. Well, the very next day, they took it all away from me. I can still do Dream Screen, but I'm not getting the AI applications. So I emailed for some help. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I want it back. So that's why I'm still working on doing some Dream Screen stuff, but it's not as fun, I have to tell you. It's not as fun and it's not as cool. I'm really kind of disappointed. They took it all off my channel. And I was reading about it. I'm going, well, I wish you wouldn't have given it to me in the first place if you were. They were saying that when they roll this stuff out, I know that when they roll stuff out, like new applications, they don't give it to everybody. I understand that. They roll it out. They roll it to a certain group who kind of test it and everything, and then they'll roll it to somebody else and roll it to somebody else. Well, I don't mind that. But what they did is they gave it to me, and then they took it away. I was having so much fun doing that, making all those characters dance and doing all those steampunk dolls, but they took it all away. Now I can still do a steampunk doll, but they're not as fun. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get it back again. And you can't complain too much or you become I let them know how disappointed I am. They took it all away from me. And I was reading on, you know, I Googled, you know, why do I all of a sudden not have it? And they explained how they roll it out to certain areas, certain regions, and sometimes if you're not even in that, if you're in that region, you still may not get it. But I have a hunch that I'm in a very thinly populated area because I'm way out in the boonies, and this region probably does not need it. They probably don't use it as much in this region as they would in California or Colorado or New York City. More people would be grabbing for it. But if that's the case, I wish they wouldn't have given it to me in the first place because I was really having fun with it. And they took it away from me. And I don't know. I messaged some people for some help. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. Yeah. That's what I say. Oh, you said darn. I'm going to say damn. Damn them anyway. You know, I almost wish they would not have given it to me if they didn't want me to have it. But it's like I started using it and I was having fun with it, and then they just turned it off. Turned it off completely. I don't get any of the AI features. And I kind of suspected that it was on their side because it happened on this phone. And I thought, well, usually if there's something wrong with your phone, like if you need to clear cache or reset your YouTube or reset your phone, you know, if it's your phone's fault, it's your phone's fault. But it was all three of my devices, and I haven't gotten it back yet. And I'm really, really disappointed. Really, really, really disappointed. I'm going to turn around here and let me stand up. Oh, I want to, and I'm going to grab those postcards on my way back. Hold on a minute. I want to grab those postcards and show them. I was going to come out here and get them, but I'm going to come out and get them. Hold on. I'm grabbing a book. So I'll show these to Sylvia, and then I want to do one more thing tonight before I leave, just a couple of things. Oh, I don't have them yet. Wait a minute. Hold on, these aren't them. These go to the zines. Well, Sylvia, I don't know if I'm going to show them to you tonight or not. Let's look up here. Let's see if I put them up here. Oh, I did, didn't I? Yes, here they are. Let me put this stuff back. Okay. And I think I'll have to hold it up. They're printed. They printed pretty dark. But see, this is the one I did, the steampunk girl, and I took pictures as we were going through them in our live stream. And I think these are mostly mine. This one I think is Sylvia's. It's the teapot lady. And this one. And I think I can get these to fit on, these I made a little larger. This was a teapot lady, steampunk. We were doing steampunk AI. And this one, and this, is that, I think this is the one we used. This one here. So we did different versions of her. And I'm going to put these on a postcard. Do I have a sample postcard? A 4x6. Oh, ouch. Hit my knee. I do, but it's across the room, of course. Let me step across the room. Hold the phone. Is there one in here? Yes. Is this a 4x6 or a larger one? No, it's larger. Hold on, I'm looking for a postcard. I guess I'll just cut one. I'll cut it out of paper. I'll cut it out of a piece of paper here. Because I want to see how those stickers fit on a 4x6. And I want to send, maybe I'll send a couple to her because we did more than one. We worked up the pictures the other morning. Was it in the morning or the evening? I don't remember. We worked up the pictures and then we chose some to make the videos out of. But I saved several of the pictures. Now I made 2 copies. This is one. This is one, and these 2 sets there. All right, let me cut a 4x6 sheet of paper here. Oh, I got my phone. It's a wonder I haven't put anybody in timeout. Sorry about that if I did. Let me cut a 4x6 sheet. Now I'm going to cut out the sticker, but I'm not going to stick it on this sheet. I just want to see how they fit. I might have to make it 3.5 by 5. Let's do a 3.5 by 5.5. Let's see, 3.5 this way. And 5.5. I think it's 3.5. It's about that. I'll make sure that I have it right. I think it's 3.5 by 5.5. It's the smallest you can go for a postcard. And I usually make mine 4 by 6. And did I do 6 this way? No, I did 6 this way, didn't I? I did 6 this way, so this needs to be 4. 4. And we'll do 2 of these. They might fit on a 4 by 6. I just want to be sure they're fitting. And I want to send them to Sylvia, because Sylvia really played along with me the other day. We fed the dream screen prompts. And we really had some cool looking dolls, steampunk dolls. And then YouTube took it all away from me. I have a feeling that it's either they just said, I'm going to save these because it's graph. Put it in my scrapbooks. Either they said this region doesn't need it as bad as another more populated area, and they might have done that. See, these are smaller here, but I could send them to you in an envelope. These are too small. I don't know, I might be able to get 2 of them on there, though. About the same size. But these are a little larger. And this is still kind of small. So I think I think I'm going to have to make it 3.5 by 5.5 for it to go on a postcard. And these are 4 by 6. Let's make sure. Well, where you going, Meri? I don't know. New tab. Smallest size of, I'm going to put official USA postcard. That, it should understand that. Go. The smallest size for an official U.S. postcard qualifying for postcard postage is 3.5 by 5 inches. And a minimum of 0.007. So 3.5, I've got 5.5, so I need to cut another 1/2 inch, which is good. Let's cut these at 3.5 by 5, and I think that these will fit. 3.5 by 5. So this is the smallest size that I can go to send Sylvia a postcard. And I think those will fit my stickers pretty good. Let's see, 3.5 this way. And 5 this way. I don't know if I'll save these little ones. I could make clusters out of them, but can't save everything. 3.5. 3.5 by 5. And don't forget, tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, I stream it from 6 until about 10 on Sunday evenings. And I'm doing an impromptu tonight because I missed my Friday stream. But both Fridays, morning and evening. So I'm kind of trying to get a little time in. Sunday evening, I stream from 6 till 10. About 8 o'clock, I'm going to have a giveaway for these. Some of you haven't seen them. I'm going to get them out here. Turn my chair. Oh, what did I do with them? I put this paper on them. Here. I have, when I bought those calendars today that I showed in my stream this morning and at the beginning of this stream, they sent me, or I got 6 of these calendars. These are Cynthia Hart's Victorian Days Remembrance. And it's a calendar, but what's so nice about it is that it's not specific to any one year. It's just the month and the number of days. Let me get a drink of water. And I got 6 of these. I'm going to give 3 away tomorrow night, about 8 o'clock Central. So if you're around, want to pop in a number, I'll send you, if you win, I'll send you a calendar. Got three people to win. I just kind of wanted to show those for those of you who might have missed seeing them earlier. All right, so I might just, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I can get both of these on one postcard. I'm going to make my postcards not out of this paper. This was just trial. I'm going to make my postcards out of watercolor paper. And I might send Sylvia 8 postcards and put her steampunk, because she gave all the prompts from these, and this is what our AI came up as. I'm not going to cut them tonight. I'm just showing you guys. I wanted to see if they fit. And then those are Sylvia's, and these are mine. I think we got 2 of Sylvia's on here. These are mine. These are the ones that I saved off. This is all the same doll. She's walking in different directions. And then I got a couple more different dolls here. And I'm going to send these to myself. And these 2 I might send to Sylvia now, because these are Sylvia's. And then I've got another set. I'll make postcards out of these. These I'm going to put in my Society of Ideal Collector. They're the same thing as these. So if I ever get AI back, we'll continue this project. I wanted to be able to do different prompts with different people out there when you come in to chat, and you could build your doll, and we could have what I wanted to do was do a steampunk doll fashion show. And we got 2 of them done. I hope I get it back, but I could do it, but it's not the same. They don't walk the same. They kind of move like that on the now, if they move at all. I'm trying to work with some characters in another topic, and I'm going, would you just move the person and not the, it's a fall, so it shows the leaves falling from the tree, but I want the people to move, and the people aren't moving. And it just irritates me. See, they gave it to me and I really enjoyed it, and then they took it away. Why did they take it away? All right, one last thing I want to do. Let's go back into chat. I've got 20 of you out here. Welcome in. If I missed saying hello to anybody, welcome in. Let's see, Jen is here. Sylvia says, thank you for our packages. I love that gargoyle. And that gargoyle, he's really cool, isn't he? I might do some giveaways of the gargoyle, just if I can. I think your gargoyle, Sylvia, is smaller. I did some smaller ones because I wanted them more sticker size. This is really a larger one. Did I bring those in? I think I did. I put them over here. Hold on, let me show you. I did. I brought them in. See, yours are about this size. And the sticker itself, what did I do with the stamp? It's under. It's really larger, but I sized them down when I put them on those stickers. Do I have another? Hold on. I've got another one in here. Hold on. Let's see if it's... No, it's the same size. I think I sent you guys... I think I sent you a cat, an owl, a gargoyle, some eyes, an ugly sweater with a ghost on it. So I sent you 4, but these two kind of go together. The eyes and the gargoyle, you can cut them separately. These are all stamps that I carved, and then I kind of cleaned them up for the stickers. But I'll try to do some life-size gargoyles. I mean, stamp size gargoyles. All right, I want to do one more thing before I leave. And let me find it here. I had it in my hands. I have stuff in my hands and then I move it. I moved it over here, I think. I wanted it out of the way. Where did I move it to? I know I moved it because I said it's in my way. I was running over it. Is it here? No, that's that paper. I don't know what I did with it. See, this is the thing when you're not prepared. I didn't put it in between the calendars. Well, fiddlesticks. What did I do with that? Did I put it here? Is this it? This is it. I want to take... I was watching Teresa Church posted on Facebook a video. I don't know if she did that in Beth Schuler's group or if she just did it on her own feed page. But where they took a book, an altered book, and I'm going to use this book. And what they did, and then I'm going to use these scraps of papers that I have left from making this journal from Aaron's papers, Aaron and the Arondax. This is going to be a journal here. And I used all this beautifully coffee-dyed stenciled paper from her. But there was a lot of cut-offs from there. And I'm going to start using these cut-offs. And I think there's some of this I want to save for this larger, but these smaller ones I could probably use. But what this, and I don't know who, let me open up, zoom it out a little here so you can see the entire book. I don't know who did the video that Teresa was showing, but I remember the technique. Now let's see if I can get to a glue stick here. And what they did, I'm going to move my phone. Turn it off. What they did was they just went to and they probably have their page. It looked like they did some other journaling in their book. This happens to be, Mina got me reading these Mitford series books by Jan Karen. And this is one that I found it at a bookstore. I'm done reading it. But Mitford series is about a fictional town in North Carolina, and she wrote the whole series around it. And in this book, they have a little map. someplace in here, of the Mitford town, right here. And I was thinking what fun it would be to do a Fibdiggity town community map. And I'm kind of working that in my head. But I'm going to leave all of that. In the video that Teresa was sharing, it looked like the person that was doing it, and maybe Teresa will fill me in. I'll ask her the next time. I don't think she's in here. What she did, I think she had some other journaling in the front, but she came to a section, and I'm done reading this, so don't cringe. She tore a page, and I think she tore it fairly, because here, I'll show you what she did. She tore a page like that. Now, I'm going to save this because I can color that and use it. But then she took another type of paper, and I'm going to use this paper from Erin, and she did this, and I thought, what a cool technique. So, and you just glue it in there, and I'm going to use she just used a glue stick. Now this has white up here. I could leave that white. I think I'll turn it over though and use it this way. I like that better. And the thing of it is, I'm not sure how she determined where to put her glue. I'm going to mark with a pencil. And then on my line, I'm going to mark it here. And mark it here and here. And then I'm going to, when I glue, I'll glue a little bit further in so my mark won't show. And I really need a piece of wax paper under this. Got aluminum foil. Let's put a piece of wax paper. Now, Natasha from Treasury Books does not like using glue sticks other than for a temporary basis, and I think I kind of agree with her on that. But I'm going to go ahead and use glue sticks for this because I don't want to use an expensive paste. That Yes paste is so expensive. And these Pen Plus Gears are pretty good glue sticks you get them at Walmart. But don't tell them I said that or they'll be raising the price. And she glues a different paper in there. So save your scraps. Now, I said that I wanted this side. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I'm going to glue it on this side, that side of that mark, so that mark will get covered up. So I'm just going to put it right in here and bring it down and glue it down. And then you have and you trim it off. You know, make sure that you have your edges glued good. And maybe Teresa will fill us in on the person who did this. I like to give people credit where credit is due. But I just watched the video and I didn't see who did it. And then she keeps going with, maybe I'll use a lighter area here. Now, I don't know. I could alternate, maybe put some text in there again. And of course, I got glue there. Let's put the glue over here. The wax paper over here. And I tore this wax paper crazy. Put it like that. And I'd like to have a different paper. Hold on, I'm gonna go get that paper where I tore that graph paper out of. But it's got different colors. I found it when I was cleaning. I must have this. I don't know when I bought it, but 180 sheets of Everyday Essentials. DMWV. Die cuts with a view. Paper. But see, it's got different colors, so let's grab. This is kind of a yellow. It's got text in there, but it's white on the back. And will it fit this way? Just barely. Let's see what happens here. No, it doesn't quite. I'm going to put it this way. And then I'll just cut it. Now, how much do I want to cover this side up? But this is white on this side. So I don't think I want it too much white. Well, it'll be out there, though. Well, let's just tear a strip. Let's just tear. And that's what she did. Now, I could go get a newspaper or a daily paper. I'm not going to, but I could. And you could do the same thing. I'm only going to do a couple pages here. But I think I want to do this type of technique. Now, I don't want to cover all of that up, though. Maybe I'll tear this a little thinner. And maybe I could put this on the back. Let's see what happens here. And I'm just going from memory of what I watched. It was on Facebook. It was, Teresa was sharing it. I think it was Facebook. It was either Facebook or Instagram. I think it was Facebook, though. All right, I want to put it this way, I think. This way. And I'll glue this down, and then I'll come back with this piece over here. So, I need another piece of wax paper. See, I get into all of this stuff. I watch you guys. I get inspired. I want to do it too. I want to do it too. Don't leave me out. FOMO, fear of missing out. I gotta do it too. All right, we're gonna put this one here. Of course, it's not torn straight. And then I'm gonna mark, just for my sake. Where's my pencil? Where'd my pencil roll off to? Up here. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this because I don't want, I'm gonna mark it here, and then when I glue, I'll glue over the edge a little. So if I put it there, and here, and then grab my glue stick. There's the cap, where's the stick? Over here. And put this under so I don't, so right in there. And my mark is right here. And it gets wider as I go down. Now, I don't know if I'm doing exactly what she did, but I'm doing similar to what she did. And I want this to come. Well, I don't think I want that. Maybe I want it clear down to where it gets wider there. How does that look? Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to take this strip and glue it on here just to use it up. Now, where's my glue stick again? And I'm just going to, I probably should put it on here, come to think of it. Oh, there goes my wax paper over the cliff. And we'll just put it just like so, maybe. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it way down there. And now, where's that text? I'm going to go back to text. And I tore that. Let's, so this is the size of the book itself, so go right in here, I think. And of course, you're going to have to let this glue dry. And I got my fan going, so it's blowing my papers around, my wax paper. Let me grab another one. I'm going to throw it off too. I'm getting another piece of wax paper. See if I can't tear it a little nicer. These boxes are, it's the Reynolds wrap, but I tell you, those tear edges are not good tear edges. They need better tear edges. Do better with my ruler. Alright, we're going to put this under it. I could do this a lot easier if I had it planned out, but I don't plan stuff out. Alright, so we want this to kind of go in here. I think it come up this way. So if I put it over here, I want these to match. It's upside down. Now let's look at this way. Put it right in there. So instead of gluing on here, I think I'll glue on here. And we'll see how that works. I find my glue stick. No. I think I'll glue on here. I'm deciding. I think I'll glue on this. Now that's what I was doing before. And then take this and put it right in there. So you get all these textures going on your page. Now, how many did she do in a book? I don't know if she did her whole book that way or if she did part of her book that way. You could do the same thing horizontally, maybe. And let's go back to my tablet and get a reddish colored one. I'm going to get a little color in there. You guys don't see my room. I really messed it up today. Okay. I'm going to tear a little strip off of this because I like the ragged edge. I don't like that straight edge. So I'm just going to tear. I don't care how raggedy it is. Whoops, it's really going to be raggedy there. And then we're going to tear this way. Now it's white again, so you really need a two-sided paper, but two-sided paper probably work better with a newspaper than scrapbook paper. I could probably take a page out, and because see, I have white there. I don't like it so white. Let's just tear down until we meet. It got pretty thin in there. Do I want the white on this side or that side? I think I'll make it right in there. Alright, let's give it a try. I'm going to make a pretty thin. And see, I got a torn piece here that I need to mend. And let's take this and see. I guess I'll have it go this way. It's right in there. And then I'm going to take these little pieces again and put them in here. Those little pieces I tore off. And you could put washi tape in there. Maybe I will. Maybe what I'll do is take some of that washi tape that I'm not using so much and washi tape this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm deciding yet. I'll have to think about that. It'll add an extra thickness. Or you could add, you could paint it, watercolor it. I don't know. I'm just playing with my paper. I just got inspired by that video that Teresa shared. I've got some more here. I'm going to bring it up a little. She shared it on Facebook, I think. And I thought this technique was so cool. It takes a little thinking about it, though. So there's my page. And you probably don't have to do the whole page. Let's see. I want another text, I think. Let's end it out with the text here. And make it the same size. Almost. I could make it the same size and maybe fill in there. So what I'm going to do is hide my glue stick. Where did he roll off to? Isn't it weird how I lose stuff? Now let me think about this again. I'm going to put it in here. And I'll have a little gap down below. And I can fill that in. So I'm going to glue this again. And I want to make this page even with that page as much as I can. And then screw it down. Oh, all right, well, let's tear this. How is that? I like that. And then my scissors, I took them off my desk tonight so I'd have room to do that writing, and I put all that stuff that was on the side of my desk in a bag. And I got my scissors. I need to spend tomorrow cleaning. There they are. You would look at behind me, how I had all that space cleared out. If you would look behind me and go, Meri, what did you do in this room? I don't see any change. All right, so I want to cut the edges here. Now this didn't get glued down very well here. And it's right here. So let's take this piece and put in here. Find my glue stick. It's hiding from me. Maybe put it right in there. Now I'm playing this by ear. This is my interpretation of what went on in that video. She may have done a lot of things differently. Let's see, I want it about the same height. Maybe over a little. Approximately the same height. There we go. All right. Put the cap back on it while I'm thinking of it. And let's see if I can cut this now. Might not be perfect. It's a lot not perfect. Oh. It's hard to cut. All right, this needs to be glued back down. I didn't get that too good, did I? Oh, jeez. Right in here. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm going to leave that open for a minute because I'll probably need it down here. And that went pretty good. And I'm liking this page a lot. And then you could come in and do something on these. My tendency now is to want put a piece of washi tape. Let's grab some washi. Let's grab this. This came in that I got from, I think it was Rebecca Wills. And it's paper tape. I mean, it's got a paper backing. I don't know if it's paper tape. Let's cut this. Right there. And let me grab a pen. See if I can't get it off. And I went right through it. This is old, so you're going to have trouble getting the backing off of it. But once you get it started, I think I have it started there. I'll let you know in a minute. Put this pen back. Once you get it started, you're okay. And we're going to put a piece. I'm going to leave some of that text. Do I want to put it completely in there? No, I think I'm going to move it. No, I guess I'll put it right here. It's where it belongs. And then now I don't know if this is going to hold long term. I didn't put any glue down. Usually I glue my washi tape down. Now, do I want another sheet? Another piece. I've got plenty of it. I'm going to do another one. Right over here. I don't like that margin. Kind of frames off the page. And I guess this is kind of like a journaling technique. This is kind of an altered book journaling technique, I think. Because I couldn't see. You could put a photograph in there, I suppose. Let's see if I can get this off. The trick is not to go through your paper, through your tape. I went through it. It's kind of hard to... There we go. I can't see anything over here. I got so much stuff on my desk. I'm going to have to really clean it off. Alright, I'm going to put it in the margin over here. Alright, up in. And we'll see how long this tape stays on this page. I'm kind of wary. I don't know. It feels sticky. And of course I didn't get it on straight, but nothing on this page is straight. Maybe the crease in there. Alright, what do I want to do here? It's the same thing. Let's see what I have. I've got some more tape here that's black, and it's got a paper backing to it. I'm going to use it up. I'm going to use it up. Get my pen. And this is the last thing we're going to do. And I'm only going to do this one page. I just wanted to do it tonight. I've done quite a bit. I played with that ink. I drew that little sketch of Charles Dickens. Did I get it? I think I did. I measured out those postcards. I'm going to make some postcards for Sylvia. And don't worry about, Sylvia, if you're out there listening, don't worry about the postage, because I have some postcard stamps that, just like my first class postage, that I've had for a very long time, and the postage stamps never go out of, I mean, they increase, but the postcard stamps themselves are forever stamps. Once you have them, you can use them until you send them. I mean, they're good until you send them. Then you use your postage. I'm trying to get this up a little higher. And I've got a lot of postcard stamps, good ones, that I could mail. So don't worry about that. She sent me $2 for postage. That's what I'll use it for. I'll go buy some more postcard stamps. There we go. It's not perfect straight, but nothing on that page is perfectly straight. Now, I'm not going to tonight, but right next to this page, I'm going to do some horizontal ones, and I might do them a little bit wider. And look, this one has a picture of a dog. I might do this page over here. I don't want to ruin my dog. All right, one more polka dotted stripe here. We're going to do it right in here. Let's click him off here. And let me put this tape away. I'll use this paper tape in this book. I call it paper, it's a paper backing. I imagine the washi is probably paper too. All right, let me put that away and get my needle out. I think this is the hardest part, is getting the paper backing off of it. Did I get... No, I think I'm good. Now, make me a little tear tab. Get a hold of it and pull. And right in there. Yeah. Cut this little tab off. It's hard to cut it close into the margin. Hard to get that cut. Nice. Yeah. Put that on this. Throw this away. Throw this away. Throw that away. Throw that away. Now, if I had my tiny attacher out, it's across the room. I know where it's at, but I'm not going to go jump. On these that I cut off, I could make clusters. So I think I'll save those. And I've got some salvage fabrics that I was tearing fabric for that journal. They could go in here someplace. And this map. And what else do I have here? I've got a piece of fabric there. Some more washi. The stuff just accumulates. Is that all of it? What's this? That can be tossed. Toss. What's this? A bobby pin. Those are keys. Those came from Rebecca. I think these came from Rebecca. Dream and celebrate. Okay. Hold on. My wastebasket's being ornery. Okay, I'm going to save this wax paper. And I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this. And these I'm going to save. Save this. Put the cap on my glue. And of course I'll save it. That's some lace. That could go on here too. I'm not sure. Save that. save all of these. See, these were, when I made that journal, I had to cut some of those papers down. Some of them came cut down. And I'm going to take all of this and the fabrics and I'm going to put them in this journal, in this folder. And then I have to find a good place to put the folder and the book. And that's the napkin. These can be tossed. That can be tossed. That's my ink, a ruler, scrappies. So, I'm wondering if I put this book like this, put it on there, slip that piece of paper in there. I'm wondering if this will hold it all. This band. Even if it curls my folder a little. So it's ready to go again. So how many projects do I have? 1. This will go in my Society by Dear Collector. These will go to Sylvia, or these. So I need to cut pictures for that. These can go in the scraps over here. Maybe I'll leave this open for a bit if I have any more scraps to put in there. This is my ink. This is what I came on tonight to do with my ink. Inky. Day 2 and 3. Day 2 and 3. And I'm going to have to find a way to bind these. And then I have a scrape doodle page to clean off my pen. Don't want to waste ink. I would do that when I was out urban sketching. Okay, 1, 2. This is part of 2. This is 3. We have, I'm not done. I'm counting my projects. I have some scrap fabrics here. I think I'll put those in my fabric box. I got a fabric box over there across the room. These I might keep out for my strips. So let's put these in here. Put those in there. This is part of Inktober. That's just a scrap. Let's see what I have here. Let's see what I have if I want to keep. I'm going to throw some of this away. This I could put in my scrap. This I'm going to throw. This I'm going to throw. This is ledger paper. This goes in my my zine, and that goes in my zine. These I need to cut. I'm going to give away these owls. That's my list, so I suppose that's 4, project 4. I'm carving stamps, so that's project 5. I'm going to put these in my folder here. And this. They're growing big. Project 5. This is just odd and ends. This is a project. This is goes to the topic journal. So there's project 6. One night, Jen wanted me to do half doll or sketch those kitty sculptures, and that's as far as I got with these 2. So I don't know if I can really call that a project. This is a book that I started last year sometime, a glue book. It's kind of stiff opening. but it's an in progress. This, I used Jen Fiddly Bits papers in here, and I started putting, so I'm going to call that project 7. This, I don't know if I can call this a project. Let's throw some of this stuff away. I'm going to throw these away. I'm going to throw them away because they're just in the way. This isn't. I covered a journal here, and then I decided not to use the pages, so I don't know if I can call that a project. Let me throw this stuff away. So I think I'm up to project 7, just what's right around my desk. But the thing of it is, I clean, and then I run across stuff, and then I go, well, I gotta do this. I got that sock monkey I want to put together. He's not here, though. What's this? These are this is just sandpaper. Some of this is just loose papers. I was going to make a journal out of this. I didn't really start it, so I'm not going to count it as a project. This is sandpaper. My Inktober, well, that's in here, but my zines are a project. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's more just scraps. I'm kind of cleaning off my desk here, seeing what I have. This is a rose that came in. I think that came from either Rebecca or Jacqueline. Here's some elastic. I'm saving that to mend. Here's some glue sticks. I'm going to put those in here because I'll be wanting glue sticks pretty soon. Hold on. Put that in here. Alright, that's pretty well cleaned off. Then I have I don't think that's a project, but this one, I think this is just extra stuff. I'm not going to call that a project. It's just miscellaneous papers. That's miscellaneous. This is an envelope that never got sent because I made one extra. Vale, I still have your envelope to send. It's all ready to go. That goes with Inktober. This can be tossed. That's just extra papers here. Hold on, I've got my hands full. And so just papers, Shannon Green. I used some of Shannon Green's papers. And I'm going to put that right there. I have extra papers here, and this is paper from Jacqueline and Debbie X. This I need out. This can go over here. Hold on. That goes on top. What are these? These are wallpapers. No, these are envelopes. That goes in my... This is the lampshade project. I'm up to what? Project 8? Project 8, because I'm still cutting my lampshade. It's over on my lamp right now. And what's this? These are just fussy cuts. They go in the papers. I got a Christmas tree project that I never finished. This is a postcard from Rebecca. I opened one of her Happy Mails. I'm cleaning off my shelf here. These are the little half dolls. Jen wanted me to do half dolls. And I did 2 and a half. So I can't really call that a project. Oh, these are from stencils from Debbie Epps, and this was a transparent art journal page that I did. It's all one page. I'm going to do more of those. Put them there. And this was a postcard giveaway, and I did mail it in August the 28th. Which one? Oh, it was the owl postcards. I mailed it. I marked it. I mailed it. Here's another transparent art journal page that I did a long time ago. So that goes there. And the rest of it is just papers and papers and more papers. Some ledger paper there. That could go in one of my journals. Now, I'm going to put it over with the other papers for right now. Then, all I have left, I got these Victorian calendars I'm going to give away. And that's not a project, it's a giveaway. And I got some fabric that needs to go back in the back room. This can be tossed. And the last things that I have are envelopes. This is a project. These are the mini haha envelopes that I need to send to my Fib Diggity creators. I need to get those done tomorrow. And I'm down to the bottom. So, the bottom of what? Let's see. These, I got some stuff in my lap. I got some towels and stuff that needs to go in the miscellaneous paper box. I got 3 bags of miscellaneous, to 4 bags of miscellaneous papers. It just accumulates. 4 bags, and oh look, these stamps came from Rebecca. See how they got Happy Mail. And just 4 bags of miscellaneous papers from working. And then I got an empty package. And scrap paper. And yeah. Alright, at least it's a little more organized, sort of. Throw that away. And I'm going to get these off my desk because I'll probably be reaching for them. I'll want some scrap paper. And that's how my desk gets all, my floor gets all messy. So these are towels that I didn't want to throw away. That's a project too. I don't know what happened to those. It might be in one of those bags. I was doing that topic journal. And I was going to put them in here, but I don't like them in there. So I'll have to find another cover for that. I'm not going to call it a project though. It's kind of stalled. And this goes in my fabric. And I'm going to have to do all these extra Rebecca things, that Happy Mail that I got out. Happy Mail, Happy Mail. I'm going to put those in a bag. Maybe that one I was going to throw away. Here. It probably came from her. Let's turn it inside out. I like to take mailers like this and turn them inside out. And when I have stuff that I'm still sorting or I needed to get off my desk, because this is Rebecca Happy Mails, I've got some threads, some postage stamps, a flower, a postcard, and over here I've got all these threads. She's having a sale tomorrow. The wax threads that I bought from her, she was selling. Some keys. I don't think I got this from Rebecca. I'm not sure where I got this from. I might have got it from Rebecca. It's a metal frame. I'm just going to put this stuff in here. And this is how stuff was. I don't know where it went. It's in a bag someplace. I remember buying it from her. You put it in a bag, Meri. But I don't have as many as I used to, is what I'm trying to say. Now, what do I have left? I finished this. This is a finished project. I took that zine. I'm going to put this with my little mini journal. We were in a zine with Dee Dee and Janet Young, and I made a little journal with Coptic binding. And I like that. I have to find a place for it. And what's this? I think I put some pennies in there. I'm going to put that in there. I just got to get this desk kind of cleaned off because I just don't have room for all this stuff. All right, so this stuff, these are going to go in my Society of Idea collector. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. Maybe work them in a journal someplace, because I probably won't go back and finish them. And this, I might put them in here, because these are just miscellaneous pages that I haven't. I might put those in there. And this is a finished little journal that can really fill out that space. These are things I need to work on. I'm going to keep this out with my ink. And I want to work on Sylvia's postcards and sending out stickers. And this is all one project. And I think I'll put this in my Society of Idea collector too. So we're down to Scrappy's. I probably have sent you all to bed. But my desk is clean, sort of. What I was doing there, paper, sandpaper, a die cut, bead die cut that I haven't put away. And these go in my zine project that I need to work on because I'm behind on that too. Because I had to go to the doctor's office with my brother yesterday. Oh, he could have probably gone alone, but I'm kind of glad I went because we had to figure out his scheduling for the next 3 months. All right. So here we are on Sylvia's project. This goes in that little jewel box. These I'm going to put in here. All right. I think the rest of this can wait until I sent you all to bed. I have a decent work area for tomorrow. I wouldn't say my floor is so decent. Let me look at chat. Steph is still here. Sylvia's still here. Kitty Jen's here. You're all on, well, no, Steph is down in Texas, but Kitty Jen and Sylvia are on the West Coast, so it's not as late there. It's almost 1 o'clock here, 20 till 1. Linda's here. Meri, I'm enjoying watching you draw. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate you saying that. You guys encourage me so much. Stephanie said, we were thinking Clover and Peppermint or Pickle and Pretzel. Oh, for the names of the dogs? Clover and Peppermint or Pickles and Pretzel. But the marching names didn't stick. Huh. Clover and Pretzel. Clover is very fast. Clover is mine, is Stephanie's, and Pretzel is Lori Beth's. She is so long and thin. Hee hee. Aw. Steph said, yes, Beth did Twinchies this month. And Cindy did painty papers like gel prints. I just kind of had to cut. You see, I counted up to 8 projects, and I probably have a couple more behind me. And I have a whole bunch of caboodles from Rosemary Morris that I ordered, and I put them away because I'm working on them. But you know, she would do one every month, and I'd struggle to stay up with her. But I've got a lot of caboodles to do. I've got plenty. I have no business ever going to another thrift store, except for it's fun. There's some tape I'm going to put away. All right, I think I better let you guys go. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. There's 19 of you in here, Steph and Linda and Kitty Jen, Sylvia. Don't forget, I'll be on at 6 o'clock tomorrow. I can sleep in tomorrow, which means I don't get up at 3:30. 3:45 is usually when I get up between announced times. I can sleep in till 8 or 9. But I'll stream at 6 p.m. tomorrow, and I'm having a giveaway of those Victorian calendars at 8. And I'll try to get in here well, it'll be this afternoon in a few minutes. I'll try to get in here and do some Happy Mails, but these are what I'm giving away tomorrow. I'm going to leave them out on my desk. So I want to say good night, good morning. Have a great rest of the weekend. Be safe, be careful, have fun. Good morning, everybody. Bye.